Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is your host, Jamil Hassan, the Crypto Hipster, where I interview founders, entrepreneurs, executives, thought leaders, amazing people all over the world of crypto and blockchain. And today I have another amazing guest for you. I'm looking forward to this interview. I think this coin, not coin, but it has a coin, which I think is in the top 20 or top 30. It's pretty good. This man today, he's the head of protocol at Near. His name is Bowen Wang. Bowen, welcome to the show.
Yep, it's great to be here.
Thank you for joining me. Let's kick things off and I'll ask you first, what is your background and is it a logical background for what you're doing now?
Well, logical background for crypto, I'm not sure what that actually means. I mean, people in crypto comes from all sorts of different background. How I got started here was very interesting. I was doing some machine learning research when I was back in college, and I read this paper published by Alex and Ilya on neural program synthesis, which is basically what all sorts of AI tools does today for code generation, but obviously it's more powerful now than 8 years ago. But anyways, I got in touch with them, and so basically I joined here initially for AI, but then there is this pivot from AI to blockchain. It happened back in 2018. So that's how I got into space. You could say that's not logical anyway, but people got into crypto for all sorts of reasons.
I agree. I agree. It's only one time asking that question didn't work. It was the other day when I asked a logician. It was logical, and I was like, uh-oh, wrong question. So, I want to find out what Near, is all about, including your role, your focus, and your mission.
Yeah, so Near is all about building the user-owned internet. So what that means is that we want to build this world where people own their data, money, and power of governance. So this is a very grand vision and includes many layers from the infrastructure, having this very scalable blockchain that can process hundreds of thousands of transactions or a million transactions per second, to things building on top of that, the chain abstraction work that we're doing that connects different blockchains together to abstract away the complexity for the end users. And then to the kind of more things building on top of those things, because we think that AI will be the interface to the internet for the future. So if we want to build user-owned internet, this AI component is a very essential part of it. So that's why we also invest heavily into building this user-owned AI. Including a bunch of things, verifiable inference, verifiable training, and all the agent hosting, and so on and so forth. So I think for myself, mostly focused on building the infrastructure layer, building the most scalable protocol, the most scalable blockchain, but also the chain abstraction work on top, including chain signatures and Omni Bridge, which connects different blockchains together and have Near be the gateway to all other blockchains.
Got it. So before I get into all that, you have some pretty exciting news, right? You just launched something, congratulations. Can you talk about what your
Yep.
major news is?
Yeah. So just this week, or we on mainnet we reduced block time by half, so roughly from 1.1 seconds to 600 milliseconds. So that is a very big change. Means that not only the block time is reduced, but also the time to finality is reduced to 1.2 seconds. I think that's near one of the fastest blockchains, both in terms of block time, but also in terms of finality. So that basically improves the user experience across the board. Like now the transactions become much faster, every application on Near just suddenly gets much faster. And I think something this kind of reduction of this scale, I don't think it happens a lot in blockchain.
Right. So 1.2 second finality. Why? That sounds like it's really important. Why is that a huge deal?
Yeah, so This is because when people use blockchains, they a lot of times they do financial transactions, and that's why they want to make sure the transaction is final, cannot be reverted. There's no like other forks, right on the blockchain. So that's why the time to finality is very important. And the 1.2 second finality basically means that it's from the time that you submit transaction to it being final, it's like just like 1 second, and it's really really fast. And also it makes near like one of the best in terms of time to finality.
Got it. Got it. I used to work at AIG, and I wasn't on the settlements team, but I worked a collaborative way with the settlements team, and sometimes it would take 3 days, 4 days to settle
Mm-hmm.
transactions. Like I see this being a game changer for companies in the financial services sector, the TradFi companies. How do we get them to be aware and adopt, your protocol to help with they get rid of the 3 day thing.
Yep. Is it a serious question?
It, you could be. So yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I do think a lot of the traditional finance infrastructure could be revolutionized by blockchains. I mean, you already see this with payment, right? Like people see the kind of convenience, efficiency, and just like reduction of costs when payments go through stable coins and instead of the traditional financial system. And I think, yeah, more of that will come.
Got it. That makes sense. So I want to find out, what chain signatures are, and what are the benefits of, them when pairing with stateless validation and we get this right, nightshade sharding.
Yes. Yeah, so Nightshade is basically the name of the sharding design we have. Yeah, for those who not familiar, sharding basically is just technology that allows blockchains to scale horizontally. So, traditionally, if you look at something like Bitcoin or what Ethereum is today, it's like every single node on the network needs to verify the same, do the same computation, verify the same transactions, and arrive at the same state. So even though you have essentially a lot of a lot of nodes in the network, they're all doing the same computation. So really, the performance is not great. So sharding is this idea that we can change that by putting splitting the network into shards. So each shard you can almost think of it as its own blockchain, and the nodes within the shard does the same computation, doing the verification, but you have a lot of shards, so that's why you can scale the network in that way. So that is, I mean, it is a kind of complex. It is a difficult technical solution, and that's why many blockchains avoided it. But Near has been doing sharding since day one. Since we started in 2018. And yeah, over the past several years, we've built this amazing infrastructure that can scale the blockchain linearly with number of shards. So basically, the more shards you add, the better performance it becomes, better throughput it has. Yeah, so basically last year we completed this final milestone in the sharding roadmap by implementing stateless validation, and after that the blockchain become fully sharded. Both the state and transaction processing are now fully sharded. So yeah, now we actually completed that original vision where the kind of blockchain scales linearly with number of shards. And yeah, that's a great achievement on its own. And then for chain signatures, basically this is this kind of another piece of infrastructure built on top of the blockchain itself to help abstract away the complexity of different blockchains, right? So you know that today there are thousands of blockchains out there, and it's really hard for people to reason about them. And if you as user, you potentially have like accounts on like 8 or 10 different blockchains, it becomes really confusing, hard to manage. And especially for end users who are not really familiar with blockchains, let's say they want to use some app, but then suddenly they need to log in with this wallet that they don't have, right? And problems that this are pretty common. So the idea of chain signatures is that you can use your account on Near as kind of control plane or like this controller that controls all of your accounts on other blockchains. So what it does is that through this multi-party computation or this, advanced cryptography, it generates kind of an address for your near account on every other blockchain, and you can directly sign transactions for other blockchains on near, and then there would be some relayer that takes the transaction and executes on other blockchains. So what this means is that you now, as a user, you can suddenly interact with a lot of different blockchains just by using the same account on near. And that's not even the end of it. So it's not just accounts. Well, I mean, accounts on near are smart contracts are also accounts on near. So meaning that smart contract can also have addresses that they control on other blockchains, and it means that the smart contract can natively sign transactions that can be executed on other chains. So it basically enables a lot of more interesting use cases. For example, you can have like this bridging without like actual bridge, like bridging, but then the transaction is actually natively executed on other chains because the smart contract itself actually controls the addresses. So it's a very powerful technology that brings this interoperability across different blockchains.
I want to get into that interoperability in a minute. You mentioned account abstraction, right? So about a year or two ago, everybody on my show was talking about account abstraction, right? Recently, in the past year, no one's been talking about account abstraction. So is it because it's already been completed, it's already done, or is there still, or is it abandoned, or what is it? What are the challenges left with account abstraction, and how can your innovations help do that?
So just to clarify, what I talk about is chain abstraction, not account abstraction. Those two are different. So account abstraction is basically the idea that you can have smart contract controlled accounts. You can have custom logic for like how the account is being controlled, potentially like multi-sig controls or like whatever complex logic you may have, rather than having just just like the EOA account that controlled by just like one public key, one key pair. So for that actually Near already has from day one, right? So that's when we built it back in 2018. Yeah, we have this like very flexible account structure. You can have different keys added to your account, and not tied to a specific key, but also you can have what we call like access key that allows the front end to control a key that signs on user behalf, make it easy for users to interact with different applications. Yeah, those things are like we already have from day one. So chain abstraction is basically this idea that you want to abstract away the complexity of different blockchains for the end user, so the user can interact with different applications on different blockchains without really thinking about the underlying chain itself. So yeah, that's a different concept.
Got it. So I'm looking at like a bicycle wheel, right? And there's always been talk of developing this multi-chain world. So if I look at the bicycle wheel and I see Near as the hub
Mhm.
and all the other chains as the spokes in order to create this wheel, which is a multi-chain world, right?
Mhm.
How can we deliver that multi-chain world absent of fragmentation, and what can this cohesiveness enable?
Yeah, so I think, as I said, right, what we wanted to enable is it's just like smooth and frictionless experience for the end user, right? Because for I mean, yes, today there is relatively large amount of people adopting crypto, but that's still, when compared to the consumer market, it's still a very small fraction of them. And I believe, or we believe that one of the main difficulties to get to like mass adoption is that today users have to navigate this complexity of the multi-chain world that they need to think about when they need first they need to like even like understand that there are like applications built on top of like different blockchains. If they want to use an application, they may need to get tokens for the underlying blockchain and all sorts of get a wallet and all sorts of complexity like this. And I think even for like for the crypto curious people who doesn't really have prior experience, this is something that kind of scare them away. It's just way too complex. And even for experienced like crypto native users, once you start, when you have to deal with like 8 different L2s, have balances there, and moving across them takes like 30 minutes, you're like, yeah, this experience is not great. So yeah, what do we want to do is we want to abstract away that kind of friction and having this unified experience for people to kind of move their assets, but also to trade their assets and so on. So we build a chain signatures technology to have this ability to have account on near controlling other accounts on other blockchains, and then we build the kind of omni-bridge solution on top that allows people to bring assets from different blockchains back and forth. So now the token can not just be on one blockchain, but simultaneously on a lot of blockchains. And then on top of that, we built Near Intents, which is this intent-based platform that allows people to trade digital assets. I mean, for now, but potentially physical assets in the future. So that's a place where you can easily trade like Bitcoin for XRP or like Bitcoin for Ethereum or like Solana for Near. You can basically have this like frictionless experience to navigate this multi-chain world.
So then you're not going to need to wrap Ethereum with Bitcoin. You're not going to need to wrap anymore. You can do all that trading with intents, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's basically like for the end user, it's like for them it's like trading Ethereum for Bitcoin and things like this, right? So in their front end, they'll just see that they're trading like Ethereum for Bitcoin or Bitcoin for Solana or whatever that is.
Got it. Because that hasn't been available until recently, right? So how's that gonna, so the future of chain abstraction, what will that from a DeFi perspective, and I'll get into AI in a little bit, from a DeFi perspective and from an institutional adoption perspective, because there are some thoughts that, institutions are going to buy just one crypto, and they're going to hold one crypto. And what you're saying is they can do so much more, they can do it more safely and securely.
Yeah, that's correct, right? I think it's, yeah, for the users, basically what I talk about, like they can trade multi-chain assets very easily. They don't have to go to different blockchains to kind of do complex things to just get like one token or one asset. They can easily trade in this like multi-asset platform where like they can trade, as I said, like Bitcoin for Ethereum or Bitcoin for Near or like all sorts of like combinations like this very easily. And then, on top of that, a lot of things can be built, right? We can have this multi-asset lending platform, right? You can borrow Bitcoin for Ethereum and borrow Near for Solana and do all sorts of like combinations like this because the idea is that they actually have balances in one place. So it makes building kind of additional infrastructure, additional DeFi infrastructure like this very easy. And then on top of that, you can build like multi-chain index on top of this, right? And you talk about institution adoption. I think, yes, there are people like what you said that they believe in one asset, but there are also a lot of people like they like an index would be very appealing for them basically to get exposed to a variety of different assets.
You bring up a good concept. Multi-chain index. Right now, there are several ETF applications that are going through the SEC, and they've been denying them and putting them off and delaying. Right? Are we going to need an ETF? If you have multi-chain index and you're able to create mutual funds, I guess from there, would you even need a single crypto ETF, or would you want to go to the multi-chain, combinations? What do you see as being possible because of what you've done?
Yeah, I think the multi-chain index is definitely like something that's very new, and I think there are different people trying to work on it. But yeah, I think with any institutional adoption, it takes a long time, right? It's from the idea being there to something being available to like the institution actually adopting it. I think that does take a pretty long time.
Yeah, from a retail perspective, what opportunities do you see for retail investors? I mean, retail, we've been relegated mostly to either buying a single crypto or meme coins, right? So what products do you see being able to come out down the pike?
Yeah, I think just for regular user, yeah, there's like a lot of things they can do, right? So as I said, like, multi-chain, like asset lending and borrowing and just kind of a lot of this DeFi primitive that we have today can be easily composed in this multi-chain world, right? So yeah, pretty much I think anything you can think of that exists in the DeFi ecosystem today through this chain abstraction approach that we can bring to the multi-chain world, right? So let's say today only exists in the Ethereum ecosystem, or like it only exists in the Solana ecosystem, then it can be brought to the multi-chain world.
Got it. So that sounds exciting to me. The other thing we want to go back to what you said towards the beginning was about AI and inference and training, right? How do you tackle those areas? Because there's been a lot of companies try, but I want to see, how you're attacking the inferencing and the training and how your innovations can apply.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you probably talk about companies that's doing very complex cryptography, whether that is zero knowledge proofs for verification, or like for machine learning, or it's more like FHE based approach to kind of encrypted model training and inference. I think yeah, those are definitely say cutting edge technology, but I think the problem there is that they're still more in the research stage because basically they're not yet super practical just because the overhead is super high, right? So I think the best knowledge prover today is probably as like a somewhere between like 1000x to 10,000x overhead, right? And if we want to do inference, for example, you don't want to wait like 5000x longer than what the centralized inference server can give you. So I think those things are, I would say, like promising in the long term, but I would say right now it's not really practical. So Near is taking this approach with trusted execution environment. So it is something that is that got a lot of improvements over the years, especially in the recent years with the latest Intel CPU that supports TDX. Trusted domain execution, and also it's supported on the latest NVIDIA GPUs as well. So that actually allows you to have end-to-end verification for things like model inference or model training. So basically, you can verify the signature that attests to the computation being done correctly. It is basically, I think, it's good trade-off between this decentralization, but also speed. So this approach gives you very, very low overhead, right? So compared to something like what you can get with zero knowledge proofs, this thing only adds about like 5 to 7% overhead. In comparison, like zero knowledge proofs like more than 1000x overhead, right? So it's just like huge difference. So this is what makes things practical today, and yeah, that's what we are putting a lot of effort into. So we actually can, with this approach, we can actually have like even like on-chain inference, right? So basically, what you can do is that let's say you have some smart contract on chain and you want to call like a machine learning model to do like inference, and it actually can happen because on near protocol, there's unique feature that allows you to basically pause a transaction and then you can do some like off-chain computation and then resume it later. So inside smart contract, you can call this like model off-chain, and then later when the results come back, you can verify that, oh, indeed, this computation is done by the correct model. And then, yeah, after you verify that, you resume the transaction on chain.
Interesting. So I want to talk about, NVIDIA and the GPUs. People are confused about, what NVIDIA's role is compared to blockchain's role. NVIDIA, people say NVIDIA just makes chips. Other people say it has a bigger role and responsibility in the AI future. With this inferencing, how do you think blockchain could collaborate with what they do and then with what you do?
Yeah, I think which like with blockchains or not, right? You still need GPUs for model training and inference, right? That doesn't really change. So the hardware part doesn't really change, and today NVIDIA still offers the best GPUs, and they're constantly innovating on getting better GPUs. So I mean, I would say that part needs to happen regardless. And then blockchain just adds this, I would say, verifiability to things, and also enables the decentralization of, whether it's model training or like inference. It enables additional things, but like, fundamentally, you still need GPUs to do the computation.
Got it. That makes sense. Awesome. So I have a couple more questions. The first one is, what should we expect from your team going forward? Again, congratulations on the 600 millisecond blocks. It's great. What can we expect from you from your team for the near or medium term going forward?
Yep. So a number of things actually. We have a lot of stuff on the roadmap for this year. So I think one big direction is that we're trying to push the limit of scalability, right? So I think last year we kind of completed this kind of architectural change that makes the blockchain really scalable, and now we're trying to unleash its full potential. And we have a goal of getting to 1 million transactions per second by the end of this year to demonstrate the superior scalability of Near. And then on top of that, we're building this idea of sharded smart contracts. So basically enable smart contract to fully leverage the sharding infrastructure that Near has, so that the smart contract can also scale linearly with number of shards. And this is not really something that people have done before. So we're very excited to be working on that. And then on the kind of chain abstraction side, we are keep improving the chain signatures, making it more decentralized, adding more nodes, and also improve performance, and so on. And then I think on the there's also a lot of exciting work that's coming up on Near Intents and Near AI side, pushing the boundary of what this chain abstracted world that we can offer.
I look forward to seeing it. I look forward, and I also look forward to seeing the intents and how that works too. You know, yeah, it's exciting to me. So thank you. And I want to thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks.
I have one last question.
Oh,
it's how can people find out more information about you, about Near Protocol, and follow what you do?
You can follow me on Twitter. So Twitter handle is Bowen18. Follow Near Protocol's Twitter as well. Go to like near.org. That's where our website is, and you can find a lot more information there.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time today.
Yep. Thanks a lot. It's great to be here.